How do TVs work? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. Okay, today's question is one that I have gotten so many times, I've lost track. The last two people to ask me were Keen and Josie, but I want to say thank you to everyone who has ever written in this question. And that question is, how does a TV work? Do you watch TV? We watch TV sometimes. Have you ever wondered how on earth the TV can display things that look so real? I mean, other than the fact that it looks kind of flat there on the TV, it seems like the stuff on TV is really there in the room with you, but it's not. In fact, all a TV is millions of little lights playing a trick on your brain. Here's the first thing you need to understand. A screen doesn't paint one big picture like a printer. It's using tiny, tiny little dots of light. These tiny dots are called pixels. A pixel is like one teeny square in a giant wall of glowing tiles. If you get super close to a screen, and I don't recommend you do this because it's not good for your eyes, but if you got really close to a screen, you can sometimes see these pixels. Most pixels are actually made of three even tinier lights called subpixels. One is red, one is green, and one is blue. When the screen turns those three little lights on in different strengths, your eyes mix them together, and your brain decides what color you're seeing. Red plus green can look yellow, blue plus red can look purple. It's like mixing different colors of paint. But here's the thing. All that light can display an image, but when you're watching TV, you're not watching just one image, right? You're watching a show or you're watching a movie. Something is moving. Well, here's the thing. Actually, all a TV is showing you is moving pictures. In fact, that's where the name movie actually comes from. Moving pictures. See, each picture is called a frame. So if you ever hear the phrase 30 frames per second, now you know what that means. If a screen shows 30 frames every second, that means that it updates the picture that's being displayed 30 times in 1 second. Your brain is so good at blending together all the different pictures or frames that it's seeing that it tricks your brain into thinking that you're actually seeing smooth motion. But it's really just the light on the screen on all those pixels changing what picture you're seeing 30 times every second. And each frame is just a little bit different than the last one. That's how your brain gets tricked into thinking that you're seeing real motion. Okay, but how does the screen know what picture to show? Well, a video comes in as information. And that information might travel from, say, a Nintendo through a cable like an HDMI cable. Or it might come through the air from an antenna. Have you ever seen a satellite on someone's roof? Or maybe it comes through the internet if it's a streaming movie or streaming show. Inside the screen is a tiny computer that reads the information from the video and turns it into instructions like, pixel number 1 should be this color, pixel number 2 should be this color. It does that for millions of pixels, frame by frame, at least like 30 times every second. Now let's talk about how the pixels actually light up. Many screens are LCD screens with an LED backlight. LCD stands for liquid crystal display. And inside the screen is a bright white light that is always shining. And in front of that light is a layer made of liquid crystals. These crystals kind of act like little tiny window blinds that can open and shut to let in more or less light. When electricity touches them, they twist a little, and when they twist more, they let more light through. When they twist less, they block more light. Each tiny spot on the screen has its own set of these tiny blinds, so the screen can decide exactly how bright or how dark each spot should be. And after the light gets through, it passes through red, green, or blue color filters. By letting different amounts of light through each color, the screen can make any color you see. Now, some screens use OLED, and OLED is spelled OLED. And OLED means organic light-emitting diode. In those OLED TVs, each pixel makes its own light without a big backlight behind it. That can make dark scenes look extra dark because pixels can turn fully off. There's no big, bright LED light in the background always turned on. Even when a part of the screen is supposed to be dark, there would still be a light shining on an LED screen. But on an OLED screen, it's perfectly black. That means that the color black is really black on an OLED TV. Have you ever been shopping at a store like Costco that has a lot of big TVs on display? You can actually look and see which TVs are LCD TVs and which ones are OLED, and you can tell the difference. In fact, now that you know a little bit about OLED TVs, I bet you could even pick out which TV is OLED just by looking at how black the color black is on those screens. So, when you watch something on TV, you're literally seeing millions of tiny red, green, and blue lights changing super fast and creating images that your brain can recognize. And those images change dozens of times every second, and it tricks your brain into thinking you are seeing motion. That is how TV works. Okay, let's have a quick quiz. Which tiny building blocks make up the picture on a screen? Those are called pixels. And what are the three main sub-pixel colors? Do you remember? Red, green, and blue. And what do we call one single picture in a fast sequence? We call it a frame. Let's play a couple of rounds of true or false. True or false? A screen can show motion by displaying lots of pictures very quickly. That is true. True or false? Every pixel is just one color forever. Nope, that's false. They can change colors. Would you rather make your own TV show or make your own podcast like Curious Kids Every Day? Well, I think you know which one I would pick. I'm doing it right now. All right, let's play a couple of rounds of What Am I? What am I? I am very small. There are millions of me on a screen. And I can change color and brightness to make shapes. What am I? I am a pixel. One more. What am I? I am one still picture. Many of me each second can look like motion. And games and videos are made of lots of me. What am I? I am a frame. Well, the next time you see a face on a screen, think about this. It's not actually a person. What you're seeing is really a giant grid of pixels, each one choosing a color and changing fast enough that your brain perceives it as a moving face. And here's something else cool. The number of frames you see in a second changes depending on what you're watching on the screen. For example, some TV shows can be 30 frames per second, like we talked about before. But if you're watching a movie, those are usually 24 frames per second. And then video games are usually about 60 frames per second. So if you've ever wondered why motion in a movie looks very different than motion in a video game, that's why. Your brain is seeing a lot more pictures every second. That actually makes what you're watching look a lot more smooth because you're getting more information every second. Isn't that so cool? I think TVs are so interesting the way they work. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a few birthdays today. It's Dylan's birthday. Dylan is from Montreal, Canada, and Dylan is turning 5. Happy birthday, Dylan. Aria is from Michigan, and Aria is turning 6. Happy birthday, Aria. Layla is from Florida, and Layla is turning 8. Happy birthday, Layla. And Eli is from Georgia, and Eli is turning 4. Happy birthday, Eli. For all the grown-ups listening, if your curious kids want their birthdays mentioned on the show, please visit supportcuriouskids.com and join the Curious Kids Club. That's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow.